All right, what's going on, guys? MTG Game State. It's your boy Smoke Packs. You already know I'm here with Discord member Dan. He's gonna join us on the segment. We're gonna get it right. I have so much stuff to talk about with Duskmourn. It's pretty crazy. Dan, I think so. Let's get into it. All right, boom. Yes, I think it's gonna be. I was just looking up the story. I think it's gonna
The
be.
story is
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
So
no
before we get into
spoilers
that,
ahead, but like it's good.
Yeah, major spoilers ahead, guys and girls, and everyone else. It's just a fact. Major spoilers ahead. I think in the edit we're gonna go, you know. So on August 26th, though, before we get into that, we had the banned and restricted announcement. The community was waiting for it for quite a long time,
This was a big one.
but this was a gigantic one, especially because we had what, Hodak Summer a couple years ago. Now
we had
entered Nadu
Hogak Summer. Yeah, Nadu Summer. Nadu was definitely the talk of it. Definitely, I feel like it was very controversial at a lot of it, especially after what they said about Nadu, how they like designed it for Commander, but wasn't it from? It was from like a modern like Horizon set, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the thing was, since Commander's becoming more popular, I feel like each set they try to sprinkle in a secret legendary Commander creature. And
Yeah.
Nadu just went above and beyond expectations in the format of 60 card world, you know.
And like even in playtesting, it was, didn't they say it like originally had like flash or something like that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, so like imagine this card having flash and its ability. So like you really do get that like I could basically win whenever I'd want kind of aspect.
It just needs like maybe a text change, if anything. If they could do like a text change to it. I know it's kind of too late. We're moving on. We're talking about the banned restricted, but just its ability to have it hit per creature is pretty scary. If you really read past the commas and know like how to read language, you're like, oh my god, what?
So I'm not gonna lie. When I first read Nadu, I was a little I kind of didn't understand the wording a little bit until I like reread it. I genuinely thought the card said only trigger, like you know how it says at the very bottom, this ability triggers only twice each turn.
Yes.
I genuinely thought that it said only twice a turn. So like you'd be targeting Nadu, and then you could target another creature, and then you were done.
Yeah, that was it.
I thought that's how the card worked.
No.
And then when you watch the Pro Tour and you watch the deck, you're like, hold on here. This is way broken. This is broken. This is more broken than I thought.
Also, the cactus. I felt the cactus from Thunder Junction really helped enable that Nadu deck. Some people included it, some didn't, but it was really good for the mid to late game, and I thought it was a fun spicy include. I forget his name, Bristly Bill maybe. He's like going up to like $30 now.
Oh, is that the landfall put a +1/+1 counter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to pick one of those up for a commander deck, but it's just too pricey in my opinion.
But it's always good. No bans in standard. That's always good.
That's always a good thing. Standard,
Always
I feel like, is the entry-level format, gets almost anybody into it, the cheapest format to get into. No changes to it makes it very fun.
Amalia Benavides a gear getting banned in Pioneer. I think it's for an unlimited combo with her, I assume, because she does some life
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm a little on the skeptical side on that one. I didn't understand it until like it was a problem until somebody on Twitter, I wish I could remember her name, I'm drawing a blank, but he talked about his record going like undefeated with the deck, and I'm like, hold on, how is this card broken? But
Pioneer's
like,
still under the radar as a format to the whole wider community too, I feel.
I feel like it flies, like you said, it flies under the radar. Interesting format. The Sorin, I think, is in that same Amalia deck, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
So
I believe
cool little...
Jim Davis was talking about still trying to run a combo with this before it got banned in Arena too. So these might be also banned in Arena.
That's crazy.
So Modern, of course, we get to him. Nadu, we gotta get to
Thank
him.
goodness. Modern's a little bit more playable now. See how the format shapes up.
I mean, it gives us more opportunity to get people playing in more of the modern red stuff, the Jeskai cards that you could really do, because some Jeskai builds are getting really big, and as well as Mono Red Ruby.
Yeah, you got Ruby Storm, And then I think the Jeskai deck is using that new card from Modern Horizons. It's like a lightning helix on a stick, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now because of the banning, the Eldrazi, like just emergence decks are just getting really big too. I forget the proper name, but we'll get into that a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So Grief though was a card we've talked about on this show, where everyone early on was like, "This is gonna get banned. This is gonna get banned." Finally,
people were wanting that with Fury banned.
With what?
So people were wanting Grief banned with Fury as well.
Oh,
because like
Fury's banned.
because of Rakdos scam.
Mm-hmm. Because it just what enables like a combo or something, or enables like too much fast play.
I mean, when you can sit there and hand somebody who's never played Rakdos scam at full power with Fury and Grief, not tell them how to play the deck or like any of the funny interactions with it, and they can just go undefeated at a store championship with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that speaks for itself. I mean, Grief and Fury are really broken as a whole. It's instant speed
allows you to deal a couple of damage divided, right?
I believe so. Fury was something along those lines. Let me double check real quick.
But with the evoke cost on them, that just is just broken, dude.
Yeah, it's free 2 mana or free 0 mana spell. Yeah, it deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers.
That's big.
So like it kept a lot of the like aggro style decks under control, and then Grief just kept the mid-range decks at ease.
All right, so I'm reading ahead, and I'm seeing a vintage ban, which is crazy. We must be in a world where there's so much new Magic cards that it's affecting even the deeper. We've kind of talked about it on the show, but I didn't really see that coming in a ban. So we got Urza's Saga and Vexing Bauble. Makes sense for Vexing Bauble and probably Urza's.
Yeah, Vexing Bauble. Yeah, so Urza's Saga is obviously really potent as a card. It phenomenal. Creates a big guy if you have, you're playing like shops or something like that. I mean, you're in a format where you have the Moxen too, so you have free lands that pump a dude, and then you get to search for a thing with 0 or 1 CMC. That's an artifact, and you could just
psycho
essentially just go crazy with it.
So whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter it.
Yeah, so essentially making your Moxen and Black Lotus a card you don't even get to use in your deck. So you spend this thousands of dollars on a deck, and then you just don't get to play 6 of your cards.
That's crazy.
I completely understand Vexing Bauble.
Explorer is the pioneer of Arena, so it looks like we do have Amalia and Sorin on the ban list there.
Mm-hmm. There
Historic,
you go. That's...
nothing. Timeless, nothing. Brawl, nothing.
Brawl is like 60 card commander, right?
Brawl is 60 card commander standard.
Okay,
there's like a
so
standard Brawl that's 60.
Format. Okay.
And then there's just freeform Brawl, which is the commander. It's the 1v1 commander of Arena, and we've been playing it on the stream more because I'm branching more into the digital side of stuff. I actually love that format, and for Arena, if you just have a bunch of cards, you could really try to jam them around a legendary creature, and you're just gonna be able to freeform jump in, and it's your worst thing with the Brawl matchup is just someone who's been playing longer and has an unlimited combo. That's it. And even then, you're not going to really get matched up with them.
Yeah, because it's based off of, like the ranking that you're at too, right?
Exactly. I believe Amazonian had talked about it before in the past. I've read about that.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward, that was sick with the ban and restricted. Finally got it. I know the community was on edge, but it always happens. But
Modern is air quotes save for right now. I believe
right
the
now.
next
I think just opening up more archetypes.
One Ring?
Oh yeah, One Ring's probably next, and then maybe Plantar or Orknak or whatever.
Something like that, yeah. I could see that.
So just a reminder, September 27th, we're going to be into the next month. Duskmourn House of Horror is dropping, guys. Here's some of the crazy prints we're gonna get. We're gonna get 1980s vintage prints. Looks like we have some.
I'm not gonna lie.
Boys prints.
That wandering, the Wanderer art right there. That art style is phenomenal.
Oh,
the Wandering Rescuer. Look at that art.
What?
That art is great.
I didn't see this before.
I hope I can have at least 1 or 2 cards for Commander with that kind of art. That is just gorgeous.
That's gonna be textured, you think, too, right?
Probably going to be one of the more expensive side of the thing,
Dude,
of the arts.
other creatures you control have hexproof. Nasty. And it can enable
Yeah.
Odric.
And it has Convoke, so you could, in theory, pay 0 mana for it and tap your creatures for it too. So it's almost a free, air quotes, creature.
Wow.
That's a really good card right there. I might have to pick one of those up for Commander.
Yeah, dude. I'm just kind of like shocked by what we're gonna get into right now, to be honest, because there's a lot with Duskmourn.
It's an interesting looking set. Like I said, it's something we haven't truly seen with it, and I like where they're going with it. It's bringing up a lot of like childhood Halloween feeling to it.
So we got up to chapter 5 in the story as of today, August 30th. Tomorrow, August 31st, PAX West will have a debut, so we'll probably get the video trailer.
We'll probably get a lot of spoiled cards too.
Oh, dude, yeah. Next week's Unfinished Save File show is gonna go nasty. Previews: 13 Days of Duskmourn, September 1st to 13th. So looks like we're gonna get some spooky, thematic stuff going into the fall season. Pre-release September 20th through 27th, big weekend, and then boom, 24th MTG Arena release. 27th we get going, and then there's more events, guys. Link will be in the description of the video for MTG Game State, as always. Now, moving forward, I just want to get real quick into Duskmourn. Like you said, it is a very historic kind of set and standard for us. We're in a 1980s modern human world set. They have TVs, you know? Kind of crazy. And I was just reading the history. So this was a plane. They don't know the name of the plane. But
Duskmourn's the house. That's like setly, like main set, right?
Duskmourn is the name of the house, yes. But the thing is, the whole plane is the house.
Yeah.
There's no outside.
No. So like if you were to use the Omen Path or Planeswalk, if you're a Planeswalker, you go to that house. There's no anything else of this plane. It's really kind of cool.
So in their world, it was sort of like the human world. They had a spirit. They had three realms. They had the main human world, the physical realm. They had the demon world, and then they have the realm of spirits. They all kind of coexist over each other.
Kind of like a Stranger Things aspect.
Exactly.
If you would, like to kind of translate it to modern times, to kind of give that vibe.
And I feel with Duskmourn, they're hitting 1970s, 1980s horror, slasher films. We're getting some
100%.
callbacks to detective stuff. Crazy things we're getting. And it all starts here. The demon Valgoth, who was imprisoned in a house within the physical realm, expanded the barriers of the house and swallowed the entire plane in a period of chaos known as the Ascension, folding the demon realm into the physical and pushing the spirit realm to the edges of the plane's boundaries with the Blind Eternities. It was because he made a deal with a girl who was getting bullied at school. She brought her friends to the house thinking that Valgoth was gonna take care of them. Really, he just needed 4 humans, sort of like an It type situation. He just needed 4 humans to sack so he could flip over, become the house, and take over. And his thirst for power would make him kind of send doors over to other planes, even without Omen Paths. The Omen Paths make him stronger, but
especially after the story.
Especially,
of the Omen Path arc.
Yeah, of the whole Omen Path arc, because he kind of has some things where he was fighting the Phyrexian army, and then after that whole arc, he becomes stronger now. And my whole point, though, is he was sending Monsters, Inc. type doors to people and tricking them to jump in, like a fish lure.
Which I think that one of the cards we've seen spoiled is a kind of nod to Monsters, Inc. You have this little, this white mana creature.
With the mask.
Yeah. And it makes a token, like companion, that represents Sully from Monsters Inc. and the creature you cast originally is Boo. It's so cool. You can see so much from this set and exactly what stuff from what slasher film or horror film that it's gonna be so cool.
It's especially a top-down mechanic set as well, so the mechanics fit within the theme. So I think we're gonna we saw in spoilers last week, they have a chainsaw equipment card, kind of like a callback to Ash
Texas Chainsaw
from
Massacre
Evil Dead.
as well. Yeah.
And Chainsaw Massacre too. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. And like houses with Chainsaw Massacre, they have like a house of a family. And so the demon, here's where we're at. Let's get into it. New multiversal MTG threat revealed in Duskmourn. Article by Riley Hicks off MTGRocks.com. So Valgavoth, in his Chapter 5 story, got more revealed. So Tamio's son got tricked and entered into a door that he had made, and now all of Rashi's friends need to go and save him, and they're kind of just the people who are the successors to the Planeswalkers after the Omen Path arc. You know about the Omen Path arc, right?
Of course, yeah.
I kind of didn't until I did more research, and I was playing throughout the entire Phyrexian arcs.
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where we're building up to the return of Tarkir, and Tarkir dragons are causing chaos. Nothing's really been revealed yet about that on Duskmourn. I think we're going to get more to that in Return to Tarkir later in the year.
Super stoked for that. One of my favorite sets.
This Omen Pass arc started in Bloomborough, Duskmourn's Part 2. Third is Project Tennis, which is going to be the Death Race, probably a Twisted Metal themed set. And then Return to Tarkir will close out the year for Omen Path arc.
Super excited for it too. Super excited.
This is the Dragonstorm arc, my bad. And last arc with the Phyrexian War and the Planeswalkers losing their sparks, that was Omen Path arc. Thunder Junction was the last story of that, where Jace had found the big score and all that. And we went over who the Fomori were and all that stuff too on the first MTG Game State.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Chapter 5 just basically revealed all that this whole article was talking about is just Valgavoth fighting all of the main characters, the survivors, and just torturing them and them figuring out more and more how screwed up this place is. They figured out the house is really him, and that the moths they see mean that Valgavoth is watching them, sort of like Sauron with the all-seeing eye.
Mm-hmm.
And
it almost gives off like that. I don't know if you ever watched it. That old cartoon movie back in the day. It was like early 2000s, I think. It was like the house was alive.
Oh, Monster House. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it's kind of giving off. It's like kind of giving off those vibes too. It's like, you know, so much pain and torture has come through this, you know, character. They become so omnipotent and present, and then they make the house their, I guess, being is what you could sit there and say.
So it appears that what is known as the house was and is Valgavoth, originally intended to be a sort of housing aid for the house that Marina Vendril lived in. Valgavoth was way too powerful, scaring away the previous residents. Despite running these residents did not release Valgavoth, leaving it to become bitter after years spent in captivity. Marina Vendril would eventually discover the being when she moved in, and she's the one who got bullied and freedom. And to put it lightly, Valgavoth is one hell of a villain, having expanded to take over an entire plane of existence. Worryingly, it seems they're not content with stopping there. In the final chapter of Duskmourn's story, Valgavoth seemed to hunger for more, after learning about Planeswalker's ability and to Planeswalk. So he's gonna be doing some stuff. It seems like he might return. They didn't actually kill him off. They didn't really defeat him. He kind of just went away.
I think the thing that's really cool when you look at it, we haven't really seen a villain in MTG of an arc that just literally makes the whole plane his entire or their entire existence.
Yeah, right? It's sort of like Marvel. I believe Marvel or DC, they have planets that are just full-on sentient beings. So I kind of like that we get that kind of... I didn't know what we were going to get with Duskmourn, because I thought it was weird following up Murs of Markov Manor, being that was a murder mystery set. And now we're getting into a House of Horror.
Which is like a... Yeah.
But it seems like it's like we got Silent Hill with kind of tones with Rashi just going missing out of nowhere. But then he's kind of being invited into the house or trapped into it, like Monsters Inc. And then we just got like survivors in a haunted mansion type deal. Sort of like on Halloween, obviously, when we all go do the haunted mansion walks and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know, that's where my head was going with it, you know?
No, yeah, I completely agree. this set, it's really cool that they're even dropping it around like fall time, going into Halloween being the next like major holiday. It really well timed. I love this. This looks like a fun set.
Yeah, we're fed, bro. We're fed. Outlaws
We
of
get
Thunder
too much from
Junction
Wizards.
didn't even feed us, bro. This is feeding us.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little weird going into a cowboy theme set, you know, but now look at us. We're going into a House of Horrors theme set, and we're more stoked about that than Cowboys and Indians.
And we're based in reality, which is a new thing for Magic too. Cowboys were new for Magic, and now based in reality is also kind of new. I mean, Stranger Things and Walking Dead cards kind of eased us in, I'd say, but it's cool.
This is just doing a really good job of it.
Yeah, they're doing good things over there, Wizards of the Coast, guys. Come on. So, moving into the Market Watch off MTG stocks, top 3 of the week plus a 4th honorable mention. Here we go. First one, Through the Breach. And I wanted to talk to you because this is one I saw Jim Davis was using in his Eldrazi Tron deck. This is what people were bringing to Pro Tour. And it's originally in Kamigawa, which is an old set. It's a masterpiece, and it has Ultimate Masters prints. I want to talk about the Ultimate Masters print. I'm seeing average listing going up. People are listing it high at $21. Market's buying at $13.
Yeah,
So-
this card's pretty good. I actually play this in Modern. I don't play it in the Eldrazi Tron deck though. I play it in a Primeval Titan Valakut deck. You can, in theory, if you get the right hand, you can go turn 3 Through the Breach, get a Primeval Titan, it gets haste. You grab 2 Valakuts, you swing, then you hit your opponent for, I think it's like 18 or something like that. And then the Modern format, normally a fetch and shock is going to happen in the first couple of turns. So like 18 to the face is, well, 18 without a blocker for the Primeval Titan. Normally gets the job done, but I like seeing that this card is being branched out more, and especially going to that Eldrazi Tron, it brings the deck from like a grindy mid-range to like, hey, I have this cool combo and I'm going to smack you with it.
Exactly, and you just gotta try and beat me, and hopefully, if you're playing blue, you got the spells. So Through the Breach is a 5-drop, 4 and a red, instant arcane. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. It gains haste. Sack it at the beginning of the next end step. And why it's also big, it's split onto arcane, which is a little bit extra cost, but here we go. 2 red and 2 of any color for 4. As you cast an arcane spell, you may reveal this card from your hand and pay its splice cost. If you do, add that card's effects to that spell. So if you have a cheap arcane, you can lead in with that, and then boom, Through the Breach into something big. Or you can even chain a Through the Breach onto another Through the Breach. I don't know what you do for Modern, but
it's kind of clever if you splice on a Through the Breach to a Through the Breach. So you're essentially getting 2 big dudes of your choosing to swing at someone's face.
That's, yeah, on turn 4 to 5. And if you can get to a turn 3 cheap, that's big. Modern usually goes to turn 5, 6 sometimes. Usually it's turn 4 or 5, but if there's a turn 6, yeah, either some crazy stuff's gonna happen after that, or it's getting shut down, you know?
You have like a control deck doing its job, or you've got some grindy mid-range deck like finally starting to get its engine going.
Exactly. Card number 2. This is kind of a double print, and it's a new card. Archangel Elspeth. A card I was playing the other day in the midweek Magic event. We got it, and I put it in my deck, and I had a lot of fun. 2 of any color and a 2 white, so it's a 4-drop legendary planeswalker. +1, create a 1/1 white creature token with lifelink. It's a soldier. -2, which is interesting for me. Put 2 +1 counters on target creature. Becomes an angel in addition to its other types and gains flying. And then -6. Return all non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. We're seeing.
I think card's kind of good, honestly.
Dude,
like looking at it for the first time, it's really
gigantic.
good.
I don't know how it would be in Modern.
I'm assuming this is more of a standard or Pioneer style card then?
Yeah, we're seeing standard really going crazy. Delirium, White Weenies, Azorius, tokens, Orzhov mid, and we got blue, what is that, UB control, so that might be black.
Yeah. I think a blue-black, I think, is what
Blue
they
black
do that
control,
for.
yeah. So it's getting popped, and the borderless, what I wanted to look into, it's listing on TCG Player for $19.79, but the market's still buying cheap at $7.98. But that's gonna dry up eventually, and we're probably gonna see it maybe level up to like $15, I think, realistically, on the full art. Borderless, and then normal, we're seeing average listing at $9.99, but people are buying at like $4.
That's not bad. Buying at $4, selling at $9. That's pretty good. There's a little $5 profit off of it.
Yeah, I think it's a good entry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, okay, no, we're good. Yeah, so I think the regular print, yeah, here we go. I was like, they're switching between the promo and the pre-release, trying to click it, because they're all look the same. But yeah, just the regular print, just so you see it here. Not like creeping up too high, but still average listing. Good entry, I think, for a standard mythic rare planeswalker, you know. And most people don't like planeswalkers in the 60 card format, but I think standard lately is where they're shining.
I feel like in 60 card format with planeswalkers, it's really hard for them to find like a deck that works. Like, once you find that deck for that planeswalker, it really works. I feel like this would be a really good like sideboard card against like a board wipe heavy like control style deck. If you're playing like a creature style low to the ground like like it says, you know, return all non-land permanents with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's really good. Like let's say you have just straight value unlike some like little weenie dudes, and then just boom, hit that ultimate, get your guys back, and you're back into the game.
Yeah, dude, you're scaring them because they thought they wiped you, and then nope, we're still going, homie. All right, so third on the list, and I think you're gonna like this one. I think all my Commander players are gonna like this one. I think it's kind of a meme though right now. What's going on? At least for the old printing in Odyssey, Terravore. Just real quick, get into the price because it does have a 39-cent reprint in Dominaria Remastered. But it's uncommon there. And I think Dominaria Remastered is a premium set. So we're seeing it average listing for Odyssey jump up to $42.50 from like $10 or $9. And market's buying at $9. I don't know why it's going up like that.
So I'm pretty sure I could take a big guess on this one. I feel like it's got to be from the Modern Horizons Commander set or Commander deck, the Dissa the Restless.
I didn't read the creature
focuses
type.
on the Lurgoyfs.
Yes.
It may be one of the weaker sides because it focuses on the number of land cards in all graveyards, which not normally is a big deal. But when you've got a deck like Dissa where it's wanting to dump almost half your deck into the graveyard and then make some Lurgoyfs, I recently just got done playing against one where he hit out a Dissa and, you know, swung for one, no one blocked. Dude had a 6/7 as early as like turn 5.
Wow.
So like being able to pump out a dude who's a 6/7, or I guess in this Lurgoy's case, let's say it was, you know, 5 lands in the graveyard. It's a 5/5 for 3. That's not bad. That's good value. Like
it's
this
cheap
card,
entry.
Pretty good. 3 mana for a potentially bigger and stronger creature going forward later into the game. That's not bad. And Dissa's recursion is really good too, bringing it back to your hand.
Dissa was a super popular commander when it got spoiled. So Terravore is a Lurgoyf, which I didn't realize. Reading the card explains the card. It's a 3-drop, 1 and 2 green. Trample also, which is beautiful. Power and toughness are each equal to the number of land cards in all graveyards. So I think that one new Modern Horizons plant card that cares about lands, this would be great to play against it with. Also,
because it fits that color section too. Muldrotha is really good too. Any self-milled deck would like take this card and like just run with it.
All right, Dan. Now for our honorable mention, 4th card of the night. I think this is gonna be pretty crazy. I'm typing the set name, but maybe you know this card. Grove of the Burn Willows from Future Sight is a land card. Taps for 1.
I love this card in Legacy.
Exactly, and because it taps for 1, doesn't enter untapped. I mean, it enters untapped, and it hits green or red, and you gain a life. It's an upside land as opposed to the come in tap, lose a life lands we've been seeing.
So
or gain a life lands. My apologies.
I love this card in Legacy because one of my favorite mechanics in the game. I don't really call it a mechanic. Lands. It's so hard to interact with lands as a whole. But when you can get something like a Valakut kill, or pulling up like a Dark Depths, like making a big giant 20/20 off of a land, it feels satisfying. And you can have a combo where you can play Grove of the Burn Willows, tap it for red, your opponent's gain a life, and then you can bring back this card called Punishing Fire, which bolts your opponent for 3. So essentially
Ooh.
you're shocking them. And that's the alternate win condition for the Legacy Lands deck, is this Grove of the Burn Willows Punishing Fire combo.
That's nice. And surprisingly though, the reason why it's popular, real quick, the finance on it, my notes, it's Future Sight, so it has the cool Future Sight frame. It was from a set that was experimental, just giving Magic's future back in the day. It's just a different type of land we get. It's in premium reprints from the vault, Zendikar Expeditions, Iconic Masters, where they downgraded it to a rare. But still, we've talked historically on the show, cards that get reprints in premium sets, no matter if there's 6 to 7 of them, just like Doubling Season, are always going to command higher prices over time. But Dan, why I want to talk to you about this card, and why I thought it was funny for you, we're seeing it in Modern, in Eldrazi Tron again, and a Hardened Scales deck.
I think the reason that we see this card a lot is because, like you said, going into that Modern format, you look at Eldrazi Tron, a lot of the cards want to sit there and have colorless in it, but also have that potential to tap for a color that you need. And this card is, in my personal opinion, the best. Not just because of the fact that your opponents gain a life, because you really don't care about that. You're going to have them gain a life, but you're going to possibly cast a Through the Breach off of that red and swing at with a Ulamog or an Emrakul or some dumb big Eldrazi, and you're just not going to care about that life. It doesn't matter.
And in 60-card formats, it's not like Commander where you're locked into land colors based off your Commander's identity. You could use this if you just need the red or the green, and it's such a value piece.
Exactly. And to the Legacy Lands bit, you only use it just for the red, because you have other sources to make green.
Exactly. And just on the finance, for Future Sight frame, we're seeing average listing, market's getting ahead of this, bro. $39.99. Like, they got some sort of wheeling and dealing right now on TCG Player. But market's been buying at $12.98. I think it's going to be a $10.15 card. I mean,
once the hype dies down a little bit and the Modern format kind of stabilizes out after this ban list, I agree.
I think so, yeah. I don't think everyone's going to be using it for, like, Eldrazi Tron, as much as we like it, I don't think it's going to be too meta broken, but probably a good deck to bring for your Pro Tour stats and stuff, maybe, I don't think that's going to get you on the camera stuff, but
like, if you're trying to just sit there and have a good deck that's going to function in the format well, Eldrazi Tron's probably that good, like, safe option. You take a look at the path, like the history of the deck, nothing has ever been hit from that deck that's caused it to just be unplayable.
Exactly. All right, and guys, that's MTG Game State. As always, all the articles will be put into the description. Like, comment, subscribe on the Smokehacks YouTube on the video.